folks, what's up? This is Michael in the wee hours of the night on the graveyard shift yet again with your trivia question for the day. I hope your week is going well. I'm back to the grind, as they say, as it were. I had a couple of days off. It was nice, but we're back at it. So the answer to the previous trivia question was what was known as the Bataan Death March. Folks, this was brutal. Okay, so following the April 9th, 1942, which was the focus of the trivia question, surrender of a combined total of close to 75,000 Filipino and American troops to the Japanese on the Bataan Peninsula, these soldiers were forced to make a 50 to 60 mile trek up the peninsula in the intense heat while being subjected to extreme and harsh treatment by the Japanese guards. This whole ordeal became known as the Bataan Death March, and thousands of people died a horrible death. So Japan began invading the Philippines immediately following Pearl Harbor. I think it was the next day, actually. And they were able to overtake Manila within a month, very quickly. With a lack of air and naval support, the U.S. and Filipino armies had to retreat and basically surrender. And this would set off what would become the Bataan Death March. The Japanese captors were just brutal in their treatment with soldiers. They beat them. They starved them, sometimes to death. They would stab them with bayonets if they couldn't keep up. And they were thrown to the side of the road and just left if they were too weak. And oftentimes they were run over by tanks and other vehicles on purpose. Thousands more would die from disease, mistreatment, and starvation if they could make it to the POW camps after this march. So just thousands of people died. Later in an American military tribunal, until after the war, commanders of the Japanese forces in Bataan were tried and found responsible for war crimes that could easily be documented during the Death March. So they did have some justice come of the whole thing. Those found responsible were executed by firing squad, believe it or not, on April 3rd of 1946, and that was almost 4 years to the day of the initiation of the Bataan Death March. There's a great documentary called The War by Ken Burns, one of my favorite documentary specialists, that has a section in there on the Bataan Death March if you ever get a chance to check it out. And there's plenty of YouTube footage as well that you can research all this on your own. It's brutal. It's eye-opening. But it's worth researching for sure as a part of American history. Okay, folks, what do you say we get to a brand new trivia question for April 12th? This is pretty cool. Being a lifetime baseball fan, and after attending multiple games at the famous Ebbets Field on this day in 1961, 5-star World War II and Korean General Douglas MacArthur declines an offer to become this. Good luck, folks. Enjoy your Tuesday. Have a terrific Tuesday. Peace out.